everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to create this torn face zombie look using a prosthetic. So the prosthetic I used was from newbie Creations and it's called the Exposed Jaw Prosthetic. As you can see, the prosthetic comes in two pieces. This hopefully should make it a bit easier to talk and move your mouth whilst you're wearing it. I feel like this might be a lengthy process, so I'm going to time how long it takes. Let's get started. So we'll start by cleaning the skin with the Distilled Witch Hazel on a cotton pad. You're going to want to clean the area wherever the prosthetic is going to go on your face. This should let the prosthetic stick to the skin properly, as you're going to be moving your face a lot. It's going to put a lot of stress on the prosthetic. Apply a little adhesive to a cosmetic sponge and very thinly apply it to your face where the prosthetic is going to sit. Apply the adhesive to the inside of the lower jaw piece. First, apply the bottom half of the jaw. Apply it very gently so you can maneuver it into place. Then when you're happy, push it down firmer. Some of the edges hadn't stuck down properly, so I used a cotton bud and dipped it in the adhesive to apply it to the edges where it's still sticking out a little bit. Now we're going to apply the top part. Like you did with the lower jaw, apply the adhesive to the cosmetic sponge and put it on the inside of the top jaw piece. Try to get it as close to the edges as you can to avoid them flappy skin pieces we had earlier. Take your time positioning this one. You're going to want to line the teeth up from the top jaw and the bottom jaw. When you've found the correct positioning, start pushing the prosthetic down firmer. It does feel pretty strange. Unfortunately, I had some flappy edges again, so I was using the adhesive and the cotton bud to stick these down. So using the Distilled Witch Hazel, we're going to blend the edges of the gelatin prosthetic to my face. I began blending with a paintbrush to start with. When I wasn't getting the effect I wanted, I started to use a thicker paintbrush thinking this would help. I don't know why I thought this, but it didn't, so I resorted back to the cotton bud. So I just dipped the cotton bud in the witch hazel and rolled it between my fingers on the edges of the gelatin to let it blend to my skin. Blending it around the nose area was tricky. You had to stick the cotton bud up your nostrils. It wasn't very pleasant. Super Colour Palette W and the colours 1 and 2, and I applied this to my skin and the prosthetic. Looking back now, it probably wasn't worth it because I ended up painting myself green anyway, so you could probably skip this step, I think. decided I wanted to go green and use the colour 512 from the Kryolan Super Colour palette B. I applied this using a stipple sponge. This part was a little time consuming because I didn't want to put too much onto the sponge and then end up with a massive green blob on my face, so I was gradually building up. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. I didn't add any green to the part where the jaw was supposed to be exposed, as that would be going pink later anyway. Now I'm adding a grey colour, which is the colour 303 from the same palette, just to add a bit more depth. Exposed jaw section, I'm going to use the same palette. I'm going to use this red, which is 072, and this cream colour, which is 070, and I'm going to mix them together to create the pink part. Still see a bit of my face underneath it, so I decided to paint the inside of my face as well. Again, from the same palette, I'm going to use colour 079, which is a creamish colour, to paint the teeth. Colour 046 to create the look of blood in between the teeth. And using the same colour, I'm going to outline the part where it looks like the flesh has been torn from the face. I also tried to follow the lines of the prosthetic to make it a little bit more realistic. Again, I'm following the lines in the prosthetic. I think it just kind of looks like the face is tearing a bit more, which looks pretty cool. Going back to the 512 green, I'm making my eyes look really angry. Look how much I'm concentrating. I look really mad. And then dab it a bit to blend it. So I'm outlining my eyes with the 046 colour. The aim is to make my eyes look more hollow than they already look. I'd missed putting some green on my eyes, so I'm just topping that up now. So throughout this process, I just pretty much add the 512, which is the green, and the 046, which is like a reddy brown, and I just keep adding that until I get the effect that I want. This part was pretty time consuming. Adding a bit of the 303 grey, and I'm just adding that to make it look a lot more hollow in the corners of my eyes. I also added a little bit to the angry creases in my eyes. And onto the bloody stuff. We're using the Fleet Street Bloodworks Dry and Blood in Dark, and I'm applying this to the jaw part with a paintbrush. I'm also adding it into the teeth. I didn't want to overdo the blood because I didn't want to lose the effect of the prosthetic underneath the blood, so I left it quite thin. I just went back to the eyes to do a bit more colour because I wasn't completely happy with them. prosthetics red to the tops of my eye line and the bottom of my eye line, just to make them look a bit more puffy and tired. This took a total of 1 hour and 12 minutes to do, which is quite a long time really. This was just the exposed jaw prosthetic. You can get a zombie brow prosthetic, which with that I think it would look amazing, but on its own it kind of looks a bit weird. The exposed jaw prosthetic on its own costs £20.99, and to get the zombie brow is an additional £28.50, so it's quite expensive altogether. It's also not that easy to talk in. I've tried to find a clip where I'm talking with the mask on, and unfortunately this is all I could find.
You're in my video. You're in my video. Oh.
So prepare to repeat yourself a lot, and also you'll need to drink through a straw. You'll in no way be able to drink with a glass or be able to eat any food. So that's the end of my video. If you enjoyed it, make sure that you like and you subscribe. Thanks very much.